You walk into a room where people seem settled, laughing at the right moments, leaning in, trading stories like they have done it 1,000 times. You smile, you play along, you even say a few things that land. But inside, you feel slightly delayed, like you are hearing the conversation a beat late. Your shoulders stay tense. Your mind keeps asking, what do I do with my hands? When do I jump in? Did that joke mean something? You tell yourself you just need time, or you can keep doing what works, staying pleasant and careful, letting other people take the lead. That approach protects you today, and it also quietly trains you to disappear. Most people explain that outsider feeling as a personality flaw. They call it shyness, awkwardness, overthinking, and low confidence. That story sounds tidy, but it skips the mechanism. This feeling is often a learned pattern of self-protection, and it shows up in money decisions as much as it shows up in friendships. Money is social. It sits in the middle of approval, status, respect, pressure, and comparison. When you feel like you do not belong, you do not just manage dollars, you manage the risk of being judged, and that is heavier than any budget sheet. Your brain is not optimized for happiness, it is optimized for survival. If you learned early that being noticed leads to criticism, teasing, punishment, or conflict, your brain built a strategy: blend in, do not ask for too much, be useful, be agreeable, anticipate needs. That strategy can look like confidence on the outside, while your mind scans for tiny cues on the inside. Who is judging? Who is bored? Who has power here? When you should speak, when you should stop. Scanning keeps you from making mistakes, but it also keeps you from feeling connected because you are monitoring the room instead of being in it. Your nervous system stays on duty like a security guard who never clocks out. Here's where the financial side quietly enters. When you feel like an outsider, comfort becomes the goal in social moments. Comfort becomes a currency, so you pay for it. You pay with quick yeses you don't mean. You pay with silence when you have an opinion. You pay with extra work so nobody questions your place. You also pay with spending. You buy the outfit so you don't look wrong. You split the bill fast so you don't look difficult. You accept prices you can't afford because negotiating feels like standing alone. And every time you do it, you reinforce the idea that belonging has a fee. Underneath all of this sits a belief that rarely gets spoken out loud. If I fit in, I will be safe. So your brain tries to purchase safety through belonging. Sometimes that looks like spending more than you planned. Sometimes it looks like working harder than your paycheck because praise feels like proof you earned your spot. Sometimes it looks like staying in a job that underpays you because leaving means being new again, and new feels exposed. If you're thinking, I don't care about status, I believe you. This is often not about looking rich, it's about avoiding the moment where you feel unwanted. Think about a normal month. You set a plan for housing, transport, food, maybe school fees, maybe family support, and you hope to save something. Then social moments appear. A coworker's birthday, a friend outing, a group trip, a wedding contribution, a family request that arrives with emotion attached. The decision is rarely about the amount, it is about belonging. So you say yes quickly, because no feels like a risk. You do not want the pause, the questions, the change in tone. You would rather take the hit quietly than feel that old, cold distance for even 5 seconds. Do not embarrass us. Your body treats boundaries as danger, so your wallet becomes the negotiator. Now make it visible with simple math. Imagine your outsider brain creates a small belonging tax of 20 a week. Extra rides, extra snacks, extra drinks, small gifts, unplanned contributions, little fees you did not budget for. That's about 80 a month. That's about 960 a year. Over 5 years, that's 4,800. Even if you never invested, that money could have been an emergency buffer that buys you calm when life hits, like a job change or a medical bill. And if you did invest it, modestly, it could grow. But the bigger cost is not just the number. The bigger cost is the message you practice: I pay to be allowed here. That message shapes your future choices. You start picking safe options that look responsible but feel heavy. You do not negotiate pay because you do not want to seem greedy. You avoid asking for help because you do not want to seem needy. You avoid learning new skills because beginners look clumsy, and you can't tolerate being watched while you struggle. Over time, that gap compounds. The raise you did not request becomes savings you never build. This is where reverse psychology helps, if we keep it ethical. You do not have to change. You can keep being the reliable one. You can keep paying the social tax. You can keep saying yes before you even check your account. You can keep apologizing when you set a boundary. It will keep things smooth in the short term. It might even keep other people comfortable. The only thing it cannot do is give you peace, because the brain that learned to survive on approval will always ask for another payment, another performance, another reason you deserve a seat. So here's the turning point. Belonging does not come from performing. It comes from being recognizable. When someone can feel your real preferences, your real limits, your real voice, they know who they are with. That creates trust. The outsider feeling often comes from shape-shifting. You adapt so fast that even you stop knowing what you want. And when you do not know what you want, money decisions become reactive. You chase relief instead of building stability. You do not have to change, but if you keep the same inputs, you will keep the same outputs, including the same anxiety before every social yes. Let's translate this into practical experiments that respect real life. Try one for 7 days. Before you say yes to anything that costs money, pause for 10 seconds. Ask yourself, is this a yes for me or a yes to avoid discomfort? You do not have to cancel everything. You are collecting data. Try another 7 days where you check your balance before you agree, even if it feels awkward. If guilt shows up, notice it and name it. Guilt is not a bill you owe. It is a signal your nervous system is learning a new rule, that your needs matter too. Here is a second experiment, small but powerful. Practice one honest sentence a day that makes you more recognizable. If someone reacts badly, that is information, not a verdict. If someone reacts kindly, you will feel something unfamiliar, belonging without payment. At first, it can feel suspicious because your brain expects a hidden cost, but over time, it becomes normal. Now, build financial calm in a way that supports your psychology. Pick one number that equals safety for you right now. Maybe it is 100 saved. Maybe it is 1 week of expenses. Maybe it's 500. The exact number matters less than the promise you keep to yourself. Each time you choose your boundary over your old performance, you build self-trust. And self-trust reduces the outsider feeling because you stop outsourcing your worth to the room. You walk in with a quieter mind, a clearer budget, and the confidence that you can handle discomfort without buying your way out of it. When you feel steady in your limits, you stop needing rooms to approve you, and you start choosing rooms that fit. I want you to hear this clearly. Feeling like an outsider does not mean you are broken. It often means you learned to be careful and you got good at it. That skill protected you at some point, but you are allowed to update the strategy. You can choose small moments of honesty. You can choose spending that matches your real life, not your fear of being left out. Progress beats perfection, especially here. And if you're not ready, that's fine. Just notice what it costs. Like, subscribe, comment your best reverse psych story below.